Hello everyone, I'm back. Let's start right away. Today's word is feel. We're gonna be talking about feelings. Let's try to find some quotes about feelings. Okay. I like what Lev Tolstoy says. Is it really possible to tell someone else what one feels? And I don't see anything else that could really help us today. Okay, I like also this one by Thick That Hang. No idea who is that. Feelings come and go like clouds in a windy sky. Conscious breathing is my anchor. Once again, feelings come and go like clouds in a windy sky. Conscious breathing is my anchor. It reminds me of another analogy, how your feelings and your senses are like the horses in a chariot, and your mind or your consciousness is the charioteer, the one who guides these horses, and it shouldn't be the other way around. Or I like how we put it very often. It's either you eat to live or you live to eat. And what people mean by that is you either control your feelings and senses in order so they help you to live your life on this planet. Let me go a little further, yep. Or you let your feelings guide you and you start living without listening to your consciousness, which is the main difference between humans and animals. Because if we are to compare them, animals do not have such a thing, do not have consciousness. Well, they do have some kind of consciousness. It's that their consciousness is not the way we perceive it to be for humans. So they have their own consciousness, which is different. Kind of obvious, but we're able to think. We can make structured, logical statements. We can even find reasons for stuff we cannot even see. Like anything that's abstract, love, feelings, we can define them and understand them without even seeing it. Like, go to an animal and tell him he's gonna eat a dragon fruit if he does a backflip. He's not gonna understand you. He doesn't know what a dragon fruit is. If you tell that to a human, oh god, he's going to do 2 backflips right away. Also, we can see the difference that the human species, humankind, we as a species, we are the only ones who do non-reproductive sex, which means out of all the animals on earth, all of them, the human is the only one who does this for fun and not to reproduce, which is interesting because the whole mechanism of this was initially meant for reproduction. That's why it feels, I suppose, it feels so good and gives pleasure and dopamine and serotonin, and the process also gives you oxytocin. all these neurochemicals were meant to encourage, to support, to reinforce this behavior, the reproduction, while humans are the only ones who do this for fun and not to make new offsprings. I mean, not most of humans. It doesn't even matter if most of us do that, or intentionally or unintentionally. It's the fact that we have such people. If you go in the animal world, you won't find anyone doing this for fun, actually. This is not my bare opinion. This is from the lecture of Sapolsky on the human behavior biology. Yeah, human behavioral biology, one of his classes. And you cannot believe me, that's fine. But this guy, he spent his life learning, studying and teaching this at Stanford University. So he also has written books about it, yes. You can check his book, Behave. I'm pretty sure he has this in his book. Anyway, what does this say? Unlike other animals, we are controlled by our feelings and our consciousness, or what we think. Oftentimes they do interfere with each other. Yep. How do I put it? Yeah, I want to make more hand gestures. So oftentimes they interfere with each other. That's natural. You could even say that's how it's meant to be. It's very hard to have either pure logic or being driven completely by your feelings. Yet, one can dominate the other. Which means you can still be driven by logic, but you can apply that same logic to your feelings. For example, when someone falls in love, or when someone is hungry, he feels hungry, and there is one specific nerve that makes connection between our brain and our stomach, and when you are hungry, this affects your cognitive process, which means your stomach right here, if it's empty, it can emanate emotions right here, or even thoughts right here. That's why a hungry human is very angry. Hungry is angry. And at the same time, you do know that you can make the other way around. You can logic your way into feelings. For example, just imagine something. How someone stole your food, or you got hit for no reason, and you instantly will start feeling some kind of emotions. So we have the interconnection of these two worlds. What's happening here and here can affect me right here. And in the same way, what's happening here can be used right here. Why does this matter? Because, as we said earlier, your feelings, your thoughts, your mind is like a cloud in the sky or a horse in a chariot. It's not controllable. Oftentimes, if you do not have an anchor, a charioteer to control them, they will take you to all different kinds of places, wherever they want to go. And imagine if your feelings control you. While you're hungry, you take some sweets. They taste good, oh my god. You start devouring those sweets. And look at this. You're devouring the sweets just because they taste good, so you feel happy while eating them in the moment. Right here you know they're not healthy. But since your feelings control you, you keep eating the sweets. And sooner or later, and most probably sooner, you'll die because of that. Or you will experience problems because of overconsumption of sweets. Take this to another dimension. You fall in love or passion, whatever. You go ahead for that person. And it doesn't even have to be something logical. You fall in love, you start doing everything for them. You start making yourself available for the person. You start spending enormous amounts of money. You do all different kinds of sacrifices and not getting anything back at all, even getting dumped. And guess what? Then you're left alone suffering because your feelings controlled you. And I just want you to understand that the feelings are neither good nor bad. And we have the fright or being embarrassed, anxiety. They have a reason. If they had no reason in our lives, they would have disappeared a long, long time ago. But the fact that they're still hanging around here means we kind of need them for something. Embarrassment. You did something in front of everyone else, no one liked it, you just shouldn't do anything. You shouldn't do that again. Don't do that. That's why you feel embarrassment. So you do not want to feel the embarrassment again. Don't do that. Why do you feel fright? It's a basic instinct. If our ancestors would not be frightened thousands of years ago, hundreds of thousands of years ago, they would have no fear. The animals would just eat them. They would die. So you need fear to know what to avoid. And so we have fear to know what we should not do. Yes, it feels kind of bad. It feels disgusting. And for someone, maybe it's enraging. That's how it feels. But it doesn't mean we should avoid that. Or else we engage into coping mechanisms, which are just addictions. Why? Because we do not want to experience, and we limit ourselves to a big dome of positive experience. We want to have positive feelings, and we try to limit the negative ones. But it's like you want to split one bar into a chocolate bar into the sweet part and the bitter part, and then you just lose the entire chocolate. After all, you can get used to everything, and if you experience only happiness, you will get used sooner or later to that exact happiness. If you experience no shame, or if you're not angry at anything, you're trying to avoid what makes you angry without even realizing it. How are you supposed to control yourself? The moment something uncontrollable kicks in and makes you angry, what do? You get angry and you cannot control yourself because you have never gotten in such a situation before. Hence, compare it with someone who is experiencing anger on a daily basis. Not because he's a masochist, but because he encounters such situations, which is natural. He doesn't shut himself off from these situations. He experiences it, and it's just another encounter for him. Nothing unusual. Then, when something does something bad and he feels the anger, he knows exactly why he feel like that. And then, knowing the reasons, knowing the difference between something that is actually bad and something that just feels bad, that can really help you. Well, we're running out of time, so I would like to conclude with just a simple thing. Don't try to isolate any of the above mentioned. So you have feelings, cool. You have your mind or logic, your rationality, also cool. Do not try to split them apart. No, you can keep them together and use both of them. Do not blindly follow your instincts, your feelings, your senses, because you just don't want to think too much about it. And at the same time, do not ignore your feelings because they're dumb or they seem useless, because pure logic can beat all of these, or because, showing your feelings or admitting that you have some of them would mean weakness. No. After all, even the toughest of the men, the smartest ones, they had feelings. If you take any scientist, he had this fierce feeling of anger, of fire battling, or even pride. He had his pride inside his own idea. And if you go up to any scientist and you try to misinterpret his idea, or you try to spit into his work, if you try to diminish the importance of his work, his child, he will kill you for that. Because he has feelings for his work, the thing that he puts his emotions and time and he cares about. For Newton, his general law of gravity or the 3 laws of motion, for Newton these were the essential things. He would care about them like about his own child. He would love them. And other scientists, after making a discovery, they would stare blankly into their paper for hours, because that's their feeling. They feel the flourishment, the prosperity in their idea. They just see and they admire it. Otherwise, you won't develop it. You won't be able to grow your idea without intense feelings for it. You use your logic to develop it, sure, but you have to care about it. Otherwise, someone random will come to your idea, your business, your child, your family, your friends, and you'll destroy them. And you'll just sit there staring at this guy until you will do nothing, because you don't allow yourself for feelings. The logic way out would be just, okay, you did that and now what? You wanted to hurt me, I don't feel nothing, what are you gonna do now? And that person will just leave your life and you'll be sitting with nothing left, and the person will just go away. And in the same way, anyone can destroy anything, and you have to use your feelings to protect it. Not to harm anyone, just to protect it. And that's enough. Use them as the strongest instrument you have in your arsenal to develop and to defend what you really care about. And that was it. I'm sorry I took these big loops around without actually developing the idea we started from.